Hello, welcome to my channel, Small Optics. My name is Jason. Now, the moon is probably the first thing you're going to point your telescope at when you first get a new telescope. And rightly so, it's an amazing target to view. The thing about the moon, it's easy to find, it's easy to get in your field of view in the eyepiece, and it's big and it's bright. So even the smallest of telescopes and even binoculars show some amazing detail on the moon. But it's always good to actually know what you're looking at. So what I've done is I've just put together 5 of, not particularly my favourite, but just 5 interesting features of the moon. Now, of course, there's literally hundreds more interesting things to look on the moon than just these 5. And to be honest with you, some amateur astronomers dedicate their entire lifetime's work just studying the moon alone. So there's plenty to see and study on the moon. So what I've done is, like I say, I've put together 5 features to get you started. There's a hell of a lot more, and I will be doing more on interesting things to see on the moon. But in the meantime, here's 5 great things you can see on the moon with a small telescope and even a pair of binoculars. Now, these are in no particular order, so let's start off with number 1, Mare Crysium, or the Sea of Crises. Now, this is what makes this interesting is all the dark patches, the big dark patches you see on the moon, are actually what they used to believe to be seas. Seas of water. Well, they were seas, but not of water, more of lava. And that's what they are. They're in the early stages of the moon's creation, and it's solidified lava lakes, basically. But what makes Mare Crysium particularly interesting is it's isolated. It's the only one of the Mare system that's actually on its own. Now, it's located northeast of the moon, and it's approximately about 3.9 billion years old. Pretty old. And it spans around about 460 miles. So it's quite a great big patch of thing. Not the biggest though. It's not the biggest of the Mare systems. But like I say, what makes it interesting is it's isolated and it's on its own. And for all of those who see the man in the moon, and some of you may see somebody kicking a football, like a footballer kicking a football or soccer ball. And in actual fact, Mare Crysium is the ball, if you like. So yeah, an interesting one to have a look at. Okay, let's move on to some craters. And at number 2 comes crater Plato. Now, Plato's an amazing crater. I love observing Plato. It's a 62-mile wide crater. And what's great about it is it's got a very smooth floor. And to me, it always looks like a lake or a sea almost. It really does look like a huge lake, just with this smooth floor. Now, if you catch it at the right time, usually when the moon is at half or around about that time, and put enough power on there, round the edge of the craters you get a lovely shadowing as the sun cast the shadows of the edge of the crater onto the base of it. A really truly lovely, beautiful crater to have a look at. Next, crater Grimaldi. Now, this is a very interesting crater indeed. Now, it's round about 174 kilometers wide, and it's what's known as a basin, and I think about 2.7 kilometers deep. I'm sure that's right. So it's a pretty deep, huge thing. Now, another one that's actually visible with the naked eye. You can see Grimaldi quite easily with the naked eye. But what makes this one exceptionally interesting is it has a history of what's called transient lunar phenomena. Now, this is basically flashes of light has been seen from the crater. There's been hazy patches of visibility, and even coloured patches have also been observed over the time in Grimaldi. So a very interesting crater indeed. Number 4, Copernicus, or the more commonly pronunciation of it, Copernicus. Always makes me smile that. But Copernicus, the crater itself is at the heart of a huge system of bright rays that spread out for hundreds of kilometers. The crater itself is 93 kilometers wide. And what's distinctive about this one is if you look at the edge of the crater of Copernicus, it's like a terraced, sort of rim to it. A really interesting crater to have a look at. Number 5, my favourite, the Openiness mountain range. It's a spectacular feature on the moon, named after the Apennine Mountains in Italy. It's a huge stretch of mountain range, visible really easy, again in small telescopes. You don't need big powerful equipment to see these features, any of these features I've mentioned today. And if there's one feature, a moon feature to have a look at on this video, if you only look at one, make sure you look and find the Openiness mountain range. It really is amazing. A little tip about observing the moon. It's a little bit of a misconception that it's best time to look at the moon is when it's full, and it's actually the worst time to actually observe the moon. The best time is always when it's at one of its phases, and some of its earlier or later phases are the best. The problem is when the moon is full, you've got the sunlight directly shining onto the surface of the moon, and that takes away any shadows and contrasts of the craters. So the best time actually is when it's half, or just before half and just after half a moon is the best time to observe these features, or any features on the moon. Well, that's about it for another video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, all the rest of it. It really does help the channel out. In the meantime, go and find yourself some amazing features on the moon, and I will see you on the next one. Take care. Bye for now.